Hey guys, this is Let's Write an Episode. I'm Tommy Oler. This is the podcast dedicated to writing episodes of old TV shows. Last week you heard our performance of The Wonder Years. Today you get to hear us plot that episode out. Joining me are Sara, Kaye, Larson, and Jared Sturghill. This was a fun one to do, and I hope you enjoy it. Let's just get straight to it. Here it is.
No, did I just make that up?
That's like his name.
Yeah, Paul Bo. It's on, so we're recording
my
now.
bad.
Or are we
Yeah.
just doing
Sure.
this?
I didn't know we were
Let's
starting.
Yeah, we're
there,
doing
there
this
you
now.
go.
Yeah.
We got it written. Kevin, Paul, pregnant
Yeah.
sister. You figure out who's the dad.
Paul, I really enjoyed this show. I like it so much. So much so that I was like, I don't want to. Can we do this? I was like, is it possible?
Yeah. No, I was wondering how
because
we're gonna come together.
it's a really good show, and I had different ideas because it doesn't do anything that's too like crazy.
Mhm.
No.
It takes a really real look at things. I mean, at the end of the series, Winnie and Kevin aren't even together.
Yeah.
Like they don't even get together, and it's like sometimes life doesn't go the way you want it, and that's like the way the whole show is. Like
For sure.
nothing is the way you want it to go, and it's always just like, and that part of me, like I really love moments in the show, but the show as a whole I don't like because it's too real. It's not enough of an escape,
Yeah, a lot of the endings
Yeah.
weren't like
yeah, there's
great endings and stuff.
There-
Like
there-
happy endings.
Yeah, there's always like a moment at the beginning where the narrator's talking to you, and then there's always a moment at the end where the narrator's talking to you, and it always feels like disappointment. Like there's disappointment and this bittersweetness to whatever he's saying, and you're just like, okay,
Yeah. It's
great.
adolescence.
But the journey to get to that disappointment was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I really like how they pick like a theme, like a central theme maybe that is going on, like at least in the first season,
Yeah.
with either the civil rights thing or the Man on the Moon when he was trying to call the Windy Girl, and he was relating to the bravery
yeah.
going to the moon to
Yeah.
him making the phone call and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like how they kept tying together some kind of theme to what would impact or how it would impact his life.
Yeah.
And revolve around
And
it.
starting in 1968, when all that stuff was going down,
Yeah.
like Martin Luther King and Robert Kennedy got killed in that year, and the Vietnam War is going on.
Yeah.
Like that's just a really bad year.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I'm growing up, and
Great year
it-
for music, though.
yeah, okay, yeah,
Yeah, the soundtrack
And
on the
films.
show is really good.
American
Yeah.
film really turned around those years too. But
yeah.
Did you want to do like a modern version of it, or did you want to keep it in the?
I mean, I
as a
figured
timepiece?
just keep it back then,
Mm.
like we did with Andy Griffith. We kept it back then, and then, any show the only show we've ever like taken a leap forward was Boy Meets World,
Okay.
and that was set like last year, and our episode was set in Hawaii whenever there was that missile crisis there.
oh yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was whenever our and that's the only one that's taken like a leap forward. So I guess this one will stay because we need the narrator. If it takes a jump forward, then there would be
could-
no old Kevin.
I mean, you could do where you had a narrator that's like 25 years from now looking back at these crazy times.
Okay.
You could.
Yeah.
That's
Or
what
you
that's
could
what
just
that's
put it
what I was
back.
meaning, like a modern version, looking at the weird thing that was going on. But no, I'm totally cool with
Yeah.
staying in the past.
But I also
Yeah.
love also the 60s and 70s. Are
Yeah.
Great.
Make
Yeah.
Kevin like 80.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any ideas on what you want? Like, do you have any ideas on what this episode should be about? Because like all the ideas I had, it made me realize that Big Mouth is just raunchy Wonder Years. Like, have you seen that show Big Mouth
Yeah,
on
that makes
Netflix?
sense.
Mm-mm.
So it's like a cartoon. It doesn't have a narrator, but it's still adolescence and kids growing up, but it's about like the disgusting part
To
of
the
it.
extremes of
Yeah.
it. Like they have a hormone monster when
Yeah.
like a girl gets on her period, so appears the hormone monster, and it is like it's like the devil on your shoulder type
Okay.
thing, and it
Yeah.
tells her like you should yell at your mom or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Oh.
But it's like it's like Wonder Years, but the raunchiness is to the extreme. Like
Yeah.
there's crazy nudity,
Yeah.
There's like just
A tampon had its own like whole like singing like song anthem thing on one
it's
episode.
nuts.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
But I was thinking of maybe going like a little like more low key, but I would like to hear if you guys have something better before I bring out any idea of mine.
I was gonna say it's kind of hard for the reasons maybe you were mentioning because you're like it's such like a heartwarming, awkward show. It's
Yeah.
not as easy to be like, oh fuck that, we'll make fun of it.
Yeah, well,
Not that we have to make fun of
I'm
it,
not trying. I'm not trying to make fun of it. I don't
Oh,
think
that's
we.
true.
Yeah. I think we should just. It's like
think we
what
should go
we.
heartwarming.
Yeah, what we can do is just have like a lost. It's it's more like a lost episode that doesn't necessarily make the cut because we do it in an hour.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Since I don't know if in the second season they went into the 70s, did you want to keep it in the 68? Like
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't
Okay.
matter. We don't have to. Can you guys think of anything specific, something in time between like 1968 and 1974?
Well, it reminds me of I think Netflix just came out with a documentary about the shooting of Sam Cooke, which is kind of like people don't realize he was kind of tied into some of the Martin Luther King.
Yeah. What
type
year
of
was that?
Social activism. Am I gonna get this wrong? Was it 71? I'm like, are you Googling?
I'm Googling some stuff.
Edit this
but
out.
not for that. Not for that.
Edit it out. It was real shady type of shooting.
Well, Jim Morrison
That's all
died in
its shootings are.
1971. I think the Beatles broke up within that time.
We're just Googling
Major
who died.
major events in I'm just going to 1972. You guys can look up different years.
Oh, what do I know?
The Beatles broke up in 1970. I mean,
Sam
that's
Cooke died in
pretty
64. I need to
monumental.
finish watching that documentary. I'm like, I got one for you.
Oh, hey, the Munich Olympics terrorist attack happened in 1972.
We could, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's a
I've
good
never heard
one.
of that before.
Have you seen the movie Munich?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I
Eric
know the name
Bana.
of it, but I
Yeah.
haven't
Eric
seen it.
Bana, that is
Yeah.
a fact. That I don't have to Google that.
Yeah, it's so that you know that scene in Munich whenever he's having sex and he's getting sweatier and he's like really thrusting real hard and he's just
Cross-cut
straining.
with the boat?
Yeah, it's cross-cut with like explosions
I'll
and
never
terrors.
forget it. I can't get it out of my eye.
And I'm sitting there like, this is weird. I'm like watching that, and you can tell it was filmed at two different times because at one moment he's kind of a little bit sweaty, and the next moment he's full blown wet, and there's like green lighting, and
Yeah.
I just thought it was so weird.
It's the weirdest sex
Yeah.
boat footage montage I've seen. And
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of those.
Like a lot of
You've seen a lot of those.
yeah, and it's like I don't know what's happening. He's either like struggling with the thought of this attack, or he's trying. In my brain, he's trying to maintain an erection while these thoughts are like bothering him. And I think it's maintaining. I'd like to think it's him trying to maintain an erection while he's getting bothered by horrible terrorist thoughts. And
You
he's
really got to see this movie.
yeah. No, I'm watching it tonight.
Isn't it Spielberg?
It is.
Which is
It
like,
is Spielberg.
what?
Yeah.
I've always heard of it, but I've never seen the
Yeah.
movie.
It's got Daniel Craig in it too. James Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of
I
people
think
in the movie.
That's a good event to start with.
Yeah.
What of that was like televised? Because I could picture some scenes where they're like
yeah, okay,
following
let's see.
along, or maybe there's some sort of hostage situation.
So I'll tell you, it happened in September 5th. So Kevin would be in school.
Okay.
They would be like, maybe the Olympics would be a thing. So it says members of the Black September terrorist group attack some people. They kill a wrestling coach and a weightlifter. They hold 9 Israelis hostage.
So this will be the Palestinian conflict wonder years.
Yeah.
Just get right in there.
Oh, okay, here's the thing. All the hostages were killed. That's the thing about it.
Nice.
All the hostages died.
Not made it out.
See, I don't
Yeah.
remember that part of the movie. I just remember the Bana
Yeah.
scene.
Oh, Watergate's going on. That might
we
be
got
better.
water. That could be good.
That could be better.
Is
That
there?
I don't know that it said Nixon sent people into the Vietnam, but I think they covered that on the show. But even
Yeah.
though that was in the 70s, and again,
Yeah.
the Beatles breaking up, that's another one.
That is another one. But maybe we can, if we look at Watergate, we can make. Darn, it would take Watergate. Watergate went on for way too long.
That's not going to work.
Yeah, no, Watergate.
So did the hostage
Was
situation.
it shocking when it first started? Like, because I know I always hear about Watergate. Even to this day.
No one. It wasn't like a big
Impactful.
deal. Yeah, it wasn't a big deal the day it happened.
Yeah.
It was just like, then when people just started uncovering stuff, they're like, what?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until when did Nixon resign? We shouldn't ask any of these history questions because
No.
I'm like, I don't know.
So
I'm like 1989. I'm kidding. Just make it.
Did you guys have any other like ideas besides like, I mean, because I know we're looking at historical things, but maybe if we think about a theme, maybe it can be like honesty or
themes related,
which would go along with Watergate.
Yeah, it would be, but Watergate took like 2 years, and we can't have Kevin ruminating on honesty for 2 years.
No.
And then finally coming to a conclusion, it's good to be honest. After 2 years, you finally figure that out.
Yeah.
Well, like normally all your conclusions come at the end of the day.
Watching the show, I noticed that Kevin's really headstrong, and he has kind of like a leadership quality to him. So I don't know if it can be a leader theme as well.
He gets real loud real fast with Paul.
Yeah.
He
like
does.
all the time. Like he'll be talking to Paul, and Paul will be like, "Why are you like that?" He's like, "Because Paul." Like just just right immediately.
Yeah.
Like Paul doesn't know his internal monologue that's going on. Like to Paul, he's just looking off in the distance for like 20 seconds as the narrator just talks, and then he's like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "I don't know, Paul."
I'm listening to this narrator.
Yeah. I'm listening to my future self talk right now. Paul, we could do something about honest, but basically my idea was Kevin gets a boner in class and he has to get up and do something. Cause like, I don't know, this has happened. Jared,
I know nothing about this.
You're in class and you make the mistake of like wearing basketball shorts or sweatpants, and then just because you're a boy, a boner happens for no reason.
Yeah, right.
And
a
then
pee boner maybe.
Yeah, maybe you have to pee and you get a boner.
What if that could be his excuse and he's and everyone's tying it? Maybe they're going over some sex ed stuff and he just really has to pee. And now it's embarrassing because he just only had to pee, but he got a boner as a result.
Now he's got a boner.
Or it could be something obscure, or something like the teacher was something that's not sexual at all, but everyone would connect to him being sexually
aroused
by it when he's like, I just got to pee.
He's in science class and they're looking at like a pig to dissect or something. And they're like, "You're free."
A pig, and they're like, "Kevin, come up here and help me out." And he's like, I really don't want to. And he's like, "Does it make you uncomfortable?" And he's like, yes. And it's like, well, then you got to get over it. Get up here. And then Kevin gets up. He's in the back of the class, and he has a boner, and everyone sees it. He can't hide it.
Yeah.
And everyone thinks it's because he likes to pork pigs or something like that. But that was the idea I had, just because this thing always has like little relatable things in it, like just like these small relatable moments are in it, and I just know that is a small relatable moment for boys.
And I'm like, I can totally relate.
Yeah.
And even on I think it was like the 4th episode or whatever, where he was saying he was just getting over his next door crush, and then it was that girl who was in the class, and she just looked at him, and it was like it froze all time for him and everything, and he was like, it was from that moment, and every little boy that has this moment where they're totally lost, and just one look means something, I don't know, and then he was trying to find out if she liked him.
Yeah. We can even have a, like, because Winnie's always there.
Yeah.
But he always has these, like, almost just ancillary love interests.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, ooh, who's that? And then he like knows everything about her. We don't know anything about her, but this girl has been in Kevin's life for a long time, and then he just tells us her whole history, and it's like, Morgan is one of the prettiest girls ever, and she's been there in my whatever class, and everybody knows that you can't date her because her dad is the blah blah blah, like just whatever. And I feel like that can be something there to hit, like, as why he's way more embarrassed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because this girl sees his boner.
There,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This girl sees his boner.
And she's oddly.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Also, like, you can the show. What were you gonna say?
I was like, maybe he has like plans to ask her out to a dance or something.
On that day,
and it's all ruined, and he won't.
What if he already has?
Oh yeah.
What if he already has? She said yes, and then they go into class together, and he's like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he has to get like a pee boner.
Yeah.
He gets a pee boner, and then he goes up in front of the class because they're doing whatever. She sees it, and now he's having to like not only deal with the embarrassment, but figure out what she thinks about this thing that happened. Like, because he's like, does she like it? Is she weirded out by it? What's going on? And then Paul can be there to make him angry.
What grade are they in?
We can say like whatever,
because 68. They were like, he was just starting like 3rd grade and stuff.
No, he wasn't in 3rd grade. He was like in 7th grade.
Yeah, we can pick. It doesn't have to be 68, doesn't it?
Okay.
No. We can say he's in 9th grade.
I thought it was gonna be really weird to.
The chick he has a crush on too could actually get a note handed to him that's like, I don't want to go to the dance with you anymore.
Yeah.
But it's not really from her. But he spends the day thinking, and he has to like confront.
But what if he doesn't? Who would it be from then? If it's not from her.
His brother Wayne.
His brother Wayne. Yeah, it would definitely be his
Somehow
brother
he
Wayne.
finds out about it, and then because he's always.
But then it's Wayne that makes him feel better about the pee boner.
It could be. Okay, what is the ultimate learning experience out of this embarrassing moment?
It's not that bad, and you can overcome it.
Like,
don't wear sweatpants.
Don't wear sweatpants.
Go pee when you gotta pee.
People don't really care. I mean, because that can really change. Like, everyone will know that. If you got a boner in class, you're walking up. Like, everyone's going to know shortly after. But there's nothing he can do about it. But maybe he can own it? I don't know. I don't know what he can do.
Learn how to hide it.
Because I'm just trying to figure out, like, what the overall lesson can be.
Yeah,
for
from
him.
that.
Well, if it is like he gets that and he gets embarrassed, and then he also like does get like the fake note, and he thinks things are just spiraling horrible, and then it turns out maybe some people didn't even notice, and the girl didn't really even cancel. So the lesson could be, things are not always as bad as they seem.
Don't freak out.
Okay.
Don't over
Isn't that a nice
situations.
lesson?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see.
Or again, don't wear basketball shorts or whatever.
Yeah, don't.
But
wear
what would he be
basketball shorts.
wearing? Because back then, that's like people were wearing like dungarees and stuff.
He could be wearing.
Maybe he
basketball
wears
shorts.
That thing still shines through. You know what I'm saying?
Not in like late '60s denim.
Yeah,
it was rough denim.
Well, I
maybe
think
he accidentally wore his pajama pants to school.
That was the American-made ones. Could they have a pajama day?
I think he could just be like from gym class or whatever.
Okay,
He could have gym class, and then what he wants to do is ask out this girl, and he knows what time she gets out of class. So maybe he like rushes over to her without changing, so he can get there, ask her, and then get to the next class.
And then he can get in trouble when he goes in the class. Like, why aren't you changed out?
I mean, I don't think he has to get in trouble.
Okay, cool.
I don't think he doesn't have to. I mean, that seems like a lot.
Okay.
Seems like a lot of layers. Because we can get in there, and then he can be like celebratory about it, and then sit there, and maybe Paul's in class, and he tells him, and then as the teacher starts the lesson, he starts to feel something happening to him, and then he's like, uh-oh. And then we get the narration of what's going on. His older self explains in, his way. Because his older self is much more, has a very different way of thinking about things, but at the same time, the same way of thinking about things than young Kevin would.
Well, that's what's so great about this show.
And the class or the teacher will call on him to open this pig up, and he gets...
They dissected. They did that, right?
Yeah, they dissect
those people.
They dissect things. I dissected things.
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah.
A frog.
Yeah.
A baby shark.
Yeah.
A baby pig.
Y'all school was rich.
And an adult, but that was not.
Oh,
that was
an
not
adult.
Later
authorized.
So,
an adult human.
So what does he want? Does he want everyone just to forget this? I think that could be it. Like, that could be the thing. Like, that the girl ultimately, I don't think matters all that much, because the girl is only there for us to make this moment worse for him.
Yeah.
It's just there to make this moment worse for him.
He wants people to forget, but part of the lesson is it matters more if you forget.
If you forget.
Like, if you can let it go.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
Not you.
Yeah.
If you forget about
it.
To not let like embarrassing things linger over you.
Yeah.
And control you.
Because people aren't thinking about you as much as you think they are.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a big learning point for my life, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Because especially if you own something like that, like, hey, are you this guy? Like, yep, I did that.
Yeah.
And then they'll just be like,
all right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then they'll just kind of like, move on.
Yeah.
As if you are embarrassed of it, and if you do run from it, then that can like really spread it more.
Yeah.
It defines you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It defines you, and maybe he can be boner guy.
Yeah.
That's the end narration.
Yeah.
He's like,
boner guy, and it's just like,
I'm boner guy.
Do it again for us, boner guy.
Yeah, but I think that also, while embarrassing, it can get him in with some people who are considered cool.
Yeah.
It maybe can get him in to be more accepted. Like, maybe his brother is making fun of him using the term boner guy, but maybe one of his brother's friends is like, hey, this is boner guy. Hey, man.
And
heard about you.
Yeah.
That's another lesson. It's like owning something can lead to acceptance by others as well.
Yeah. And he gets a really cool, like, acceptance from Wayne's friend. He's like, oh, okay.
And now Wayne's pissed off.
Maybe Wayne's not pissed off. Or maybe he is. Who knows?
Wayne is a real funny looking guy.
Wayne is a funny looking guy, and he's like the only one that seems to have like to keep his like 80s, 90s haircut.
Yeah, I saw that when the pictures today. I'm like, why has he got a mullet?
Yeah, in the show. It's like the guy playing Wayne is like, no, I'm not cutting my hair of the style back then. I'm going to keep it cool. Like, I got girls to get,
I imagine the producers being like, we need one heartthrob. And they were like putting all their money on Wayne.
Putting all their money on Wayne, who never grew. That guy never got to holler.
Love it.
Okay.
I'm liking this heartwarming lesson that we're coming up with.
Yeah.
It's good.
For sure.
Good job, you guys.
Yeah. So he learns to be cool with who he is, and that kind of gets him in better.
Yeah.
So that's what he needs.
Mm-hmm.
What he wants is for people to forget it ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
So he's comfortable in class. He asks the girl out.
Mm-hmm.
She says yes. He walks into class in his gym shorts. I guess we can just start off the episode is him like trying to get across the school so he can meet her before class and ask her out, because he heard that she likes him in class. And he's like, I got to act on this now. If I know anything from my previous mistakes, I got to get on this. And so he's running over there. He meets her. She says yes. And then he's like, cool, you want to walk to class? And they have to walk all the way back. So, like, maybe he starts here, he goes over here, walks back with her to class, just to make it like that's why he's in gym shorts.
Yeah.
And he walks back with her. He's proud. He gets into class. He sees Paul. He gives Paul, like, yeah, I did it. They sit together. They're happy. It starts like a biology lesson of them cutting up a pig. He's like, I don't want to go up there. He feels something happening. Boner starts to happen. And then he gets forced to go up there. Everyone sees his boner that he can't make go away because he doesn't have the wherewithal to tuck it up or push it down.
And he keeps on trying to look at the half dissected pig, thinking it'll help. And
it'll help.
like,
But no, it's a pee boner. It's not an arousal boner. It's a boner where you have to pee to make it go away. And like, that's what happens. That's the beginning. Now he needs to accept that this happened and that he is now a boner guy. What he wants is for it to go away. And he gets put into, I guess, an unfamiliar situation. What could that be?
Was that when Does he get the note, or you don't like that?
No. We could have him get a note.
You get a note for the girl, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought of
the
another
fake
thing. So, okay.
Yeah.
So that definitely is a way. And another thing I thought of, totally can be kicked out as well, was that
Nope.
What if he intends to give her the note, or he gives her the note and he's waiting on an answer, and all this commotion stops him from getting the answer, and she has to leave, and now he's freaking out over that, plus wanting it to go away, and thinking with it being, thinking that this incident would lead to her saying no, but then as he starts to accept it or whatever, and then it shows up in the end that she actually liked it or was cool with it, and gives the note back and it says yes, oh shit, she was actually cool with it the whole time. That was totally a side thought.
No. I get that idea, but because if you do it that way, it feels more like he is only accepting of who he is because of her, and she is more she is more just of an avenue to cause more embarrassment.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
That's more for people to see this and be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just to have it be a more shocking moment.
Mm-hmm.
So then he gets a fake note from then at this point.
Yeah.
Would that be the alternative?
Is that so? The unfamiliar is that he's a social pariah, or he thinks he is.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think of ways that we can show that, what can be.
He screams out, "It's just a pee boner,"
Yeah.
and then people are
I just
not
have to-
helping.
I just have to pee.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes up there and he has to. He's like, I just have to pee, and everyone's like, no one says anything. It's just more quiet.
Yeah.
And
even Paul looks away.
And then the teacher's like, if you need to go to the restroom, you can just go. You're not a child. And then he runs
double
out.
ouch.
Yeah.
Double
he runs out the classroom, and he just stays in the bathroom, he's just in there. He's peed, his boner is gone.
Yeah.
And now, he stays in there the whole entire class, and the bell rings. He walks out, and now it's he sees everyone looking at him all weird. Maybe it's not even spread,
it's his perception.
It's his perception that
Mm-hmm.
everyone thinks he's boner guy now.
Yeah, and he hears whispers that aren't there.
Yeah.
When really they were saying biology class.
Yeah. But then I feel like at one point someone does yell, "Hey, boner guy!"
Yeah.
And that is someone who is in the class with him, and he's like, "God!" And that's just no one else knows, you know.
Yeah.
But that freaks him out enough.
So you're saying no one in the class knows when
No,
he left?
No. In the hallways.
In the
Oh, okay,
hallways.
okay, I gotcha. I gotcha.
You could see him his perception, and he's punishing himself. So he's already, instead of them making him a social pariah, he kind of makes himself. So he's like, I'm just gonna not be around. I'm not gonna
look at anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how does he adapt to that? Because he has to.
Well, isn't him making himself the social pariah adapting?
I guess so.
You know what I mean? He's like, this is how I'm going to cope with it. I'm just going to take myself out of.
Yeah.
It's just a negative adaptation.
Yeah, a negative adaptation.
Okay, so he
exactly.
he gets. So do you want him to spend the rest of the day in school, or can he go home and then come back the next day and kind of accept it? I'm not sure what would work best here, because I feel like if he goes home, he can talk to
his dad in some kind of offhand way.
And his dad can be like, "What are you talking about?" Because he's trying to be weird about it.
Yeah.
He's trying to be Kevin about it.
Yeah, because when he wanted to call the girl, he used the tie analogy, thinking his dad would pick up on it.
Yeah,
that's what Mom said, but his dad didn't get it. So it can be another one of those
I love that. There'd be a good scene to write, an analogy for what happened to him.
Yeah.
And his dad, it just goes right over his head, and he's just like,
yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, we should definitely make him go.
He's like, I'm trying to watch Walter Cronkite. Will you shut up?
Trying to look at these stars, man.
Yeah, hush. So he goes home and he's trying to figure out what to do, and he talks to his dad. He gets no help from there. His dad kind of pushes him down. Wayne would be no help.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. You think there's two people that should not help him? Double it up, his dad and then Wayne.
Well,
Wayne's no help at first.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking I can't think of a way in which
Wayne would help, right
Unless
now.
it was unintentional. Like he helped unintentionally.
But also, like, what could Wayne do that is productive? You know what I mean? That's not helpful, but also productive to the story we're trying to tell.
Right.
Like, I don't know what Wayne could do.
Didn't you use it with the best friend thing, right? Where he says he tries to make him embarrassed by it, and it ends up making the friend.
Yeah,
say,
that
like,
could
"That's cool."
that could be like at the end though.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking maybe instead of like he talks to his dad, instead of talking or doing anything with Wayne, maybe he calls Paul.
Yeah.
And that's where he comes up with the idea of like, I'm just not going to talk to anyone ever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do I'm just going to avoid eye contact. No, I'm not going to look at anyone.
Yeah.
And Paul is like, why would you do that? And
Yeah.
then he blows up on Paul like
Yeah.
he does. He's like, Paul, I got a boner in class. Do you not realize how huge that is? And he's like, it wasn't real huge.
So many possible jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what he tries to do.
Mm-hmm.
But because he's like, his adaptation is that, it's going to backfire on him.
Yeah.
Like he's going to have to pay for that. And that is because he's showing his embarrassment of it. People are going like, hey, boner guy.
Right,
and he's
right.
just trying to run away from it.
Right.
And that's scary to him.
Yeah.
And now he has to figure out like how to
Own it.
how to own it.
Okay, wait, remind me, isn't he kind of like a jackass in the show?
Yeah.
And
And only to him, like his little brother. He's very hard on his little brother. I mean, he's a bully to everyone.
That's maybe how he could inadvertently help is like he somehow sees his brother doing something super jackassy, and then he sees that his friends still like him anyways.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
So he gets what he wants, which is he's just avoiding people.
Yeah.
No one's talking to him. He sees the girl. She's like, "Hey, Kevin," and then he's like, "Hi," and then he
like
just
she's
walks
gonna
away.
cancel this or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, like she probably hates me. Like the narration
Yeah.
is like, she probably hates me now. She's gonna make fun of me. There's no way I can talk to her. And
Yeah.
then he's like, "Hello," and then he just walks away, and she's like, "Huh?" She didn't care about that whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Maybe she didn't like it, but she certainly it didn't bother her
Yeah.
so much because she's not, she's who cares?
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? And there are people out there who know that he's embarrassed by it and make fun of him for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like his brother maybe heard about it. Now he's getting called boner guy and stuff, and it's bothering him. And now what can his brother do? Like I imagine his brother like slips and falls and gets milk all over himself, stands up, and then it like says something like whatever, and then people laugh,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, and they clap. Yeah.
yeah,
And
and
Kevin's
then
like, what?
Or his
And-
friend's laughing, and he like
Yeah.
punches them, and he's like, "Oh, my bad, buddy."
yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Like
Yeah.
and and then Kevin's like, if I had done that, I'd be milk guy for the
Yeah,
rest of
right,
my
right, right.
life. And then
Perfect. Yeah.
he learns that if you just own something that happens, then it can make it go away quicker
Yes.
sometimes. As long as you're not a murderer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I
Yes.
killed someone.
Yeah.
Oh, cool, man. Neat.
Stabbed him right in his fucking face.
Hey, dope.
Aren't you the murderer? That's right.
Hey,
Killer
you're-
guy.
Yeah. Hey, look, it's Killer Guy. That's me. As long as it's not horrendous, everything's going to be fine. He pays for it because people get on him, and it makes him more uncomfortable. He gets more like internalized, and he doesn't like how it feels, and it kind of like spreading more a little bit. And they're like, "Hey, that's boner guy. That's bothering him." And he finds his brother, because I guess they would be in school together
Yeah.
at this point. I don't know how much older Wayne is than
He doesn't
him.
age. Right? Isn't that what we said? Like, he doesn't age, and he has hair from the
When he
early
first went to
90s.
junior high, it seemed like he was a grade or two above him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was in, was he in school?
Yeah,
Like, was he there?
The first scene when he sits down at the table, and then Paul sits down, and then the
That's
girl sits down, and Wayne
That's
comes
right.
and
Yeah.
embarrasses
Wayne
him.
is still is in school with him. So yes, Wayne is there in school. Good. So yeah, he sees Wayne. Maybe he makes it to lunch. Him and Paul are sitting together, and they're just like trying to avoid everything. And then he sees his brother. His brother like comes in and bothers him about it. I would say this is where his brother.
In the cafeteria, that'd be
Yeah, his brother in the
whole-
cafeteria gives him the fake note. We can say gives him the fake note, and he believes it, and then.
Do we even need the fake note at this?
Probably not, but it would. But it could give. It could give a
extra.
reason.
Yeah.
It could give a reason for Wayne to be talking to him.
Yeah.
And I don't
Because
know.
he heard about it.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he could have heard about it in a moment of weakness when he went home to talk to his dad. Maybe his dad didn't give him anything. So what's wrong with you, Scout, or whatever he called him? And then he's like, I just wanted to go. I wanted the girl to go. What was it, a dance or something?
Yeah, it could be a dance. Or whatever.
But
what else do
I
people
don't know
go
if she's
to?
gonna go.
Who gives a crap?
I don't know if she's gonna go with me or not. And then he plants the idea in his head to like, I'm gonna make him think that she doesn't want to go.
Oh
yeah,
that's a good way to. Wayne's like listening. I was just thinking like how great. I didn't know we were thinking of putting where he spills milk on himself. But were you thinking like at school, like in the cafeteria?
Yeah,
like
at school in the
okay,
cafeteria.
yeah. I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Like he literally slips on something, like maybe a banana peel, maybe the note itself.
Yeah.
Maybe he throws like he knows the note's not real.
Yeah.
He just did it to make fun of him, and he throws it back at him. He walks away. He slips on it. He spills milk all over himself. People make fun of him, and he's like, "Yeah, that's me. So what?" And then,
like he stands up and is like, "Yeah, and,
yeah."
And Kevin's looking around like the whole school is cheering.
Yeah,
like
no one cares that he just did this embarrassing thing.
Yeah,
and that's where he learns to accept it. So the moment he leaves the cafeteria, he goes out when someone calls him boner guy. He's like, "Yeah, that's me," and they're like, "Hey, cool."
And then
yeah.
And then he could actually, I don't know, get an actual boner again. And
this time,
he's repping it.
Yeah, this time he feels good about his boner.
He's got all new problems. He has to get boners on demand.
He goes back to the class, the biology class, where they continue to cut up the pig, and he's like, "Kevin, you want to come up?" And he has a boner again, and this time he's like, "Hell yeah." He's moving his pants around to make it flop a little bit. Oh God, that's
Lord.
so stupid.
Yeah. No, it's very seriously. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, he's banging it on desks.
Or like he's like cutting the pig and then it's like wiggling. And he got.
Yeah, he sticks it.
We'll let you
pig.
work out the visual direction.
Let's stick it in the pig.
Yeah, he sticks it in the pig.
Okay.
It's the closest to the human, isn't it? Or is that a goat?
I have no idea.
Oh, that's for eating.
Yeah.
Her.
Oh, yeah.
How do we know that? How do they know that?
Okay, so I think we have it. So
we have it. That's a good one. I like this episode.
We have it. Okay, so let's just go over it all again. The beginning, Kevin is rushing to the opposite end of the school after having finished gym class in his gym shorts to talk to this girl who he just found out likes him. And so he asks her out to the dance because it's coming up quick. He's got to get there. She says yes. And they walk back to biology. He talks to her. He's funny. And they get into class. Paul is in there. He talks to Paul. He's like, yeah, she said yes. They're excited about it. He thinks it's cool. Things start to happen. He gets a boner because he has to pee. Teacher calls him up. He's like, I don't want to go up. Teacher makes him come up. He has a boner in front of the class. He feels like everyone's looking at him. And then he's like, it's because I have to pee. And the teacher tells him, like, get out. You're not a kid. You can go. And then he runs out, spends the rest of the time in the bathroom, the rest of the class. He's peed, so his boner's gone. And I feel like we have to make that distinction. His boner is not there now. It's not going to be back.
Well, that's a metaphor. Like it's not there anymore, so you don't need to keep on making.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to keep that boner, Kevin. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Let go of the boner, Kevin.
Yeah, those are the bad. The boners is a metaphor for the
not
thoughts.
being so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I like a bad pun.
He walks out of the bathroom at the start of his next class. He feels like everyone knows when no one probably cares. Someone says boner guy because they saw him in class. He freaks out. He runs. Let's say he's back at home now, and he's trying to figure out what he can do to, get over this horrible thing. He talks to his dad for advice. He is rebuked because his dad doesn't understand what he's talking about, because Kevin is also trying to dance around the subject and not tell his dad about erections or anything super uncomfortable, because his dad is a strong man that makes him feel weird. And
he's of the silent generation.
Yeah. He gets no help there. He calls Paul. Through talking with Paul, he discovers that he's just going to be invisible. He's going to make himself little and matter to no one for the rest of his school career. Paul tries to question him about it. He gets angry immediately at Paul, as he does. And then the next day at school, he sees the girl. She tries to say hi. He completely ignores her because he feels like she knows. And someone else, like more people, are calling him boner guy, and he's running from it. And because this is the 70s, people like bullying. And
they really did.
Yeah. I mean, they did in the 90s and 2000s too.
They did. When I was coming up, bullying was like, that was expected.
He goes to lunch where he meets Paul, and that's where his brother comes in. He's telling Paul, like, him and Paul go sit in a far corner of the lunchroom to be inconspicuous and no one sees him. He doesn't want to get called out as boner guy. His brother comes up, gives him a fake note from the girl, whatever her name is, and it says like, oh yeah, she hates you now because you're boner guy. Look at this note. And then he can tell it's fake. He gets angry. Him and Wayne like roughhouse a little bit. Wayne leaves. He throws the note at Wayne. It gets caught on his feet in some awesome, cool moment. Wayne falls and spills milk all over himself, and he gets up and his friends make fun of him. But Wayne just totally owns it. He's like, yeah, that's me. I'm milk guy now. And or whatever.
Yeah.
And then that's whenever Kevin has his moment of like, oh, wow. Because as soon as he's like, yeah, I'm milk guy now, people are like, haha. They laugh. They think it's cool. His friends give him a high five. He doesn't care about the milk spilled on him. Wayne, it doesn't matter to him. He moves on with his life. And the cafeteria just moves on. They see that moment and they go on and they continue to talk. Kevin is like, whoa, maybe this is what I need to do. Maybe I should just be boner guy. Maybe I should quit running from boner guy and just be the boner guy, and everyone will forget about it. So he goes out into the school after lunch. People start calling him boner guy. He's like, yeah, that's me. And they're like, oh, cool, yeah. And they laugh. And they laugh because it's funny just to be boner guy.
Mm-hmm.
And
then they're like, what about the dance?
What about the dance? And he's able to easily change the subject to whatever, because he's boner guy, so what?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's my name, don't wear it out. And and he's changed. We hear a little narration using the little saying that you said. I don't remember it now, but I know it was good. It's recorded, and I'll use it later.
I'm like,
I'll listen to it later.
yeah.
But all I know is it's about like accepting who you are. Forget
Mm-hmm.
about that stuff. No one cares, and you're cool. You're cool. Be who you are.
Yay.
And we did it. We wrote an episode of The Wonder Years.
And the girl lets him know that she's down to go to the dance.
Yeah,
and
give him head.
Then he gets a boner when she says we can go.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, of course.
He gets a good boner. Yeah.
But the narrator will just talk about that later.
The narrator
They'll just be like,
will
well, I'll
talk
just say this. The
He's gotta
dance
get a
went
boner
very
again.
well.
Yeah. Dance went very well. Got a good boner. So that is our episode of The Wonder Years now.
Yay, we did
Yeah.
it. Good one.
Cool.
And that was it, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks to Sara and Jared for helping put this one together. And come back next month when we write an episode of Full House. See you then. And before we go, I just want to let you know about Your 3 Stories podcast. It's a great comedic audio drama podcast I want you to listen to. Here is a little more info.
My name is Aaron Corbett, and I want to let you know about my show called Your 3 Stories Podcast. We produce weird and funny audio drama stories in series of 3. Here are a few examples of what you will hear. The first clip is from our financial crisis series and is called The Search for Gold. In this story, 3 treasure hunters dig for more than they bargained for.
Sam, is there any sort of curse we should be worried about with this treasure? Some treasures have evil curses attached to them, and people look for the treasure and end up dying.
You didn't say anything about there being a curse, Sam. How could you do this to us, Sam?
There is no curse.
Are you sure? Maybe this treasure carries a curse, but since nobody found it, then nobody knows about the curse. We could be the first to die.
Our second example is from our Technical Difficulties series and is called Super Secret Super Soldier. Charlotte Drake, a brilliant scientist, attempts to create a super soldier for the United States government, only to find out that not everything goes as planned.
Project Nightcrawler is a complete success. Look, he's getting up.
He can't even stand.
His leg just fell off.
I'll sew that back on after lunch.
Everyone be quiet. He's going to say his first words.
You can listen to more at our website, www.your3stories.com, or anywhere you get your podcasts.